Hello, welcome to Shelf Centered. As usual, buck late, dollar spent. As usual, I'm late to the party, and but I figured I'd give it a go because I've kind of been talking about it without fully talking about it. This month is a really cool month. I think I wanted to be able to support. I supported it in a couple of videos ago, and a couple of videos before that. Anyway, just wanted to make it more official, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking of actually having a video on something that I wanted to talk about. I know I have to keep having these realizations about how to function in booktube world. So anyway, one of the things that I think is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts is self-publishing. I have found that and especially this IndieAugust that I'm talking about here today, I think it's such a good thing. And I think more and more people need to know about it, need to know what's out there. And so that's why I'm reading currently the Sword of KAIGEN. And I know I mentioned this earlier, but Ben from Literature and Lo-Fi, wanted to just shout him out because he's kind of the one that's been pushing this hashtag IndieAugust, and I think it's a great thing. I think more and more people need to do it, especially with some recent events, and I won't get into it too much, just some troll has come out of the woodwork, a space cadet, one might call him. That's at least one of the articles I saw. But essentially saying, oh, vanity and self-publishing, it's not real publishing. And I'll be honest, I have an undergrad in economics. If people like it, it's publishing, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to, supply and demand. And the thing is, I think at least Amazon has shown, and the world has shown right now, that self-publishing is the future. It's right now, in fact. And we live in a wonderful world. There are so many. I was just taking a look through. I've read 5 self-published books this year. I'm on 6 and 7, Sword of KAIGEN, you know. I did start because I hadn't put something into my Kindle slot of reading. I always have 3 books going at any time. So that's my way out of my TBR. And so, and I started Dante's by T. James Kelly, which has been really excellent so far. And so those are my 2 self-published IndieAugust picks for this month. Wanted to just encourage others to do the same. We still have time in August. You could still do it. But I just think the thing is, for me, with self-published, I honestly do believe there are certain series that are right now some of my favorites that have really been blowing my mind that I just don't think could have gone the traditional published way. Some of these just kind of video game style books, I just don't know if a traditional publisher would really go for it. Although then I say that, and I know there's Off to Be the Wizard, which Amazon actually did publish, but it just feels like the way that it's become what it is, I just don't think would have happened without this independent ability to publish. And there's look at how many authors have come from this, and they probably could have gone gone the traditional route. Sorry, they probably could have gone the traditional route and done quite well, and they have. I'm looking at like Michael J. Sullivan, Andy Weir, who else? Hugh Howey. There's a lot of these that have gone this way. To not only self-publish but then traditionally published, and in Michael J. Sullivan's, for him, he actually gone back to self-publish, and he tells in some of his interviews that he actually makes way more money in self-publishing, and that's one of the beauties of it. For me, I've just talked with a number of authors throughout my career. One of my favorite authors, his name is John Marco, and I don't know if you've heard of the Tyrants. What is it? I can't even, Tyrants and Kings, is that what it is? The Jackal of Nar is the first book. Then he's also got the Eyes of God series, the Lucian series, or the Bronze Knight series. But following him over the years, just the struggle that he's had, because he's not, the top listed author for his publisher. And I won't name the publisher. I've written articles about it actually, and you can look that up if you want. But and where I've actually named the publisher, but it just because I was really frustrated at the time, because he'll submit a manuscript and just hear nothing back, and until he becomes the squeaky wheel, and finally it might get somewhere, and then they go, okay, in a year we'll actually publish it. And it's like, well, I've already got the next book ready. What about that one? And just the rigmarole of traditional publishing. I mean, if an author, and like luckily, Sanderson, for instance, he's as prolific as he is. He writes a million things, but he's at the top of the list. He sells a bajillion books every day. And of course, they're going to publish the crap out of his work, but these not Brandon Sanderson types aren't able to do that. And when you can at least just, hey, you could self-fund it, go through Kickstarter or whatever avenue you want to go, and produce great stuff for the fans that are eating it up and loving it. And they can do it a lot of times. They use the same editors that some of the traditional places will use. How is this not win-win? I love it. And I want more of it, and I'm rhyming and a cheerleader. So, sorry for that. So I wanted to take this time just to say, hey, try out IndieAugust. There's plenty out there. There's plenty out there for free even. There's plenty out there for 99 cents. There's, especially the first in a series. I challenge you to go out there, find something that interests you, that piques your interest, and go for it. See how it goes. And I really feel like not only is there this quicker avenue to getting fans what they want, especially for someone who can produce a lot of good stuff for their fans, but this is where we can get to the weird stuff and the crazy stuff and stuff that's not just produced because it might sell. And I'm not saying that traditional publishers don't consider pushing the boundaries, which they do. I'm just saying they do still have, the incentives are there, right? They are looking at their bottom line, and they have to, and they're looking at what sells, and they're going to follow trends, and they're going to be at least more apt to do so. Whereas in self-publishing, I saw someone quoting, I wish I could remember who it was, but it was like, write the book you want because you'll have to read it 75 times. And so I thought that was great. I am not being a writer myself, I would love to, but you have to actually be, willing to put in the time, which I salute you guys. But this is where we can get to the stuff that I love. I know I've talked about that before. I like the weird stuff, the stuff that pushes boundaries. I think you guys do too. And it's fun to see some of this stuff come out. I sure, there's merit to an argument that, hey, going the traditional route will make sure that at least it went through some level of checks and balances. Sure. And I read my share of clunkers in my time that are self-published? Absolutely. But again, go look up reviews. There's reviews out there, or go try something new. It's okay, and it'll be worth it for them. There's a great Kurt Vonnegut quote that I'll put up because I'm going to totally massacre it, but I love his quote. This is meant to be no slight against self-published books, and this is more just my, hey, take a gamble, try it out. I think it'll be worth it. And this is one of the things one of the quotes that I try to remember when thinking about art, when doing art, and anyway, and then just acknowledging those practicing in art. And I love this quote. He says, "Practicing in art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow, for heaven's sake." And he's a humanist, so anyway, that's kind of a joke. Singing in the shower, sing in the shower, Dance to the radio, tell stories, write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem. Do it as well as you possibly can. You will get an enormous reward. You will have created something. And I think those are profound words, and I admire and salute those that are working in the trenches and making great stuff for us to enjoy. Thank you. I salute you. Participate in IndieAugust if you can. If you have space in the TBR that is as mountainous as mine, I know it is. I've talked to you. We're all in the same boat, and it's a beautiful boat to be in because, I mean, imagine the opposite. Wouldn't that be worse? You have nothing to read. I can't pick these things up. I got nothing. I've read it all. That would be terrible. We get so much that we can't even read it in a lifetime. That's wonderful. So please like and subscribe. IndieAugust, do it. And thanks for your time. Hey, also wanted to just shout out thanks to all the people that have come here from Patrick. Patrick's the man. I just love him to death. And he's so kind, and you're all so kind to join me. And just wanted to say thanks. I know I haven't said that enough. And appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Bye.